Death on the Nile is a film based on the book of the same title written by Agatha Christie. It is directed by and stars Kenneth Branagh, who plays the French detective Poirot, and he has been asked to go to Egypt and attend the honeymoon of newlyweds played by Armie Hammer and Gal Gadot, who are being stalked by Hammer's bitter ex-girlfriend played by Rose Leslie. A murder occurs on their luxury boat cruising down the Nile, and it is up to Poirot to determine which of the wedding guests did the dastardly deed. This is a sequel to Murder on the Orient Express, which came out in 2017, but it isn't necessary to have seen the Orient Express in order to enjoy Death on the Nile. I never saw Murder on the Orient Express, and I had no problem jumping right into this story. The only reason I wish that I had seen the Orient Express is because Detective Poirot runs into an old friend named Book, spelled B-O-U-C, played by Tom Bateman, who helped out Poirot in the Orient Express, so I was left a little confused by their relationship, which I had to look up after the movie. But other than that, there were no issues with understanding the storyline and characters. Overall, I very much enjoyed this film. It's an old-fashioned whodunit that follows the familiar murder mystery story beats. The murder victim is surrounded by a bunch of suspicious characters who all have motives, and the detective keeps discovering clues until finally, at the end of the movie, there is a big reveal of the murderer's identity. Even though it follows an old-fashioned murder mystery formula, it still left me guessing, and I was satisfied with the reveal at the end. Death on the Nile doesn't add anything new to the genre. One reason I liked Rian Johnson's murder mystery movie Knives Out so much is because not only was it entertaining, but it did something completely new by turning the genre on its head and showing us who committed the murder at the beginning of the movie. There is nothing clever like that in this movie, and obviously, since it is based on a book that was written in the 1930s, you can't really blame it for being a little old-fashioned. This movie has a lot of beautiful people and a lot of beautiful locations, so it is often very nice to look at. Sometimes the computer effects on the Nile River locations look a little too fake, but it's not too distracting. One complaint I had is that I wanted them to give more clues pointing in the direction of someone being the murderer. I felt completely in the dark the entire movie, and then suddenly the significance of all these clues are revealed at the end, and I would have preferred if maybe they did a little more to lead the audience towards suspecting a particular person, but not the actual murderer, of course. When the reveal was about to happen, I didn't have a theory about who did it, and I felt like I was more confused by the end of the movie than I was at the beginning. I will also say that some characters are left underutilized. Some characters who are possible murder suspects just disappear for large portions of the movie, or we get brief glimpses of them in large group shots, but they rarely say anything. I think that if characters are taking up space and have no purpose, you should just write them out of the movie. I also thought it was funny that they kept comparing Gal Gadot's beauty to that of Cleopatra, because Gal Gadot will actually be starring in a Cleopatra movie coming out in 2023. Some people are making a big deal because Armie Hammer has a large role in Death on the Nile, and he was the subject of some accusations, so he has been keeping a low profile. It's interesting because they show so little of him in the recent promotional material, but he has so much screen time in this movie. I think they should have just embraced the fact that, you know what, they cast a guy who had some issues that nobody knew about until after the film was shot, and there's nothing you can do about it. At this point, if I were to boycott every movie starring someone who has done or is accused of doing something, then that would knock out 90% of Hollywood movies. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I was entertained. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it is a fun mystery movie that was very competently made. If you disagree with me, let me know what you thought in the comments, and I will see you next time.